Are you happy, and is it a blue sky feeling for some of the candidates who are hoping to be elected or re-elected here in the state of Michigan? Dave Doolio talks with us from time to time. It's Michael Patrick Shields, very busy fellow at the Director of Civic Engagement at Oakland University in Rochester, Michigan, and a professor in the Political Science Department. Thank you for rejoining us as we are, well, we're almost down to hours now before the traditional way to vote on Election Day, sir.
Good morning, Michael Patrick. Thanks for having me.
When the Secretary of State, Jocelyn Benson, who, by the way, is running for re-election, keeps talking about making sure that there will be protection at the polls for people who want to vote, and they're watching out for voter intimidation and so forth, have there been, measured examples of that she should keep saying that on national shows and here across the state of Michigan? Why is she saying that?
There have been issues from time to time, none in Michigan that I can remember, but I think that it's really a reaction to the rhetoric from over the last couple of years, right? I mean, it dates back to 2020. I imagine that they are, let's put it this way, I imagine they're planning for the worst and hoping for the best.
What's the worst, though? I mean, what could happen? What are they watchful for?
Well, there have been, and I'm not saying this is going to happen here, but there have been instances where people have brought weapons to polling places to try to intimidate people from voting, and that caused a bad scene. It was maybe in North Carolina or Georgia that I'm remembering that from. That might be the worst case.
I don't understand. How would somebody know who that person is going to vote for and that they would want to scare them away?
It's usually targeted by precinct rather than individual, where somebody goes to a precinct that is tends to vote heavily toward one candidate or one party or the other, and they want to try to mess with those folks.
So speaking of that, I'm reading that turnout in Detroit might not be as hot as they would have expected. It could be as low as 28% for this midterm election. What does that mean? What does it not mean in terms of the governor's race?
Well, I'll tell you that there has been, as you know, just so much activity, discussion, writing about this election in the last many months. But I think that prediction by the clerk in Detroit is probably the most significant thing that could have come out in the last week, because if it's 30% turnout in Detroit, that's about 11% lower than it was in 2018, when, of course, Democrats had such a good year and swept the top of the ticket here in Michigan. That 10% decline, or that 10-point decline in turnout in Detroit, I think should be very concerning to Democrats. It should be concerning to folks who are pushing Proposition 3, and I think it explains why Barack Obama was here just last week.
And this is how John Engler got elected, correct? Detroit didn't come out for James Blanchard all those years ago?
Correct. That was one of several factors, but I think that was one that loomed large.
I wonder why Detroit in itself would not be as motivated as the rest of the state.
Well, I think there are people make decisions on who to vote for and whether or not they're going to vote for all kinds of reasons. But there might be an interesting analog here. In 2016, not totally comparable since it's a presidential race, but in Wayne County in 2016, not all of Detroit, but Wayne County, all of Wayne County, not just Detroit. Hillary Clinton got 80,000 fewer votes than Barack Obama did 4 years prior in 2012. So, and Detroit not coming out, Wayne County not coming out for Hillary Clinton cost her the state of Michigan, and it may have even cost her the presidency. So we can see shifts in appeal of candidate, right, from election to election. This would be an interesting one because they turned out for Gretchen Whitmer in 18, but maybe not in 22. Maybe they're just disappointed, frustrated, not pleased with the policies that the incumbent's pushing. Right? It's surprising, but not totally crazy to think that there would be this big a fluctuation.
Do you think that at this time early, the morning after the election, say next Wednesday, we will have definitive results?
It depends on the race, and it depends on the margin. My hunch is no in those tight races, and I think if we do have a definitive result, it may not be because all of the ballots are counted, but because the margin is so wide for a particular candidate, and the lead is insurmountable in the remaining ballots to be counted. Right, so there might be media calls in some of these races, but that would be about as far as I would go.
It appears to most common viewers and those who pay attention a little bit that Donald Trump is setting up for another run, or do you think he's head faking us?
You never know with the former president, right? Which was part of his appeal to many. I think my hunch is that he runs.
Good God! And is your hunch also telling you that Joe Biden is serious about running again?
I take him at his word. I mean, I think we could have some fun playing out the scenarios of whether he runs or not, and who might get in, if anybody, and then if he doesn't, who the favorites are. That could be a lot of fun. But at this point, I take him at his word, and it would be quite the rematch if it's another Biden-Trump extravaganza in 2024.
How accurate or inaccurate do you think the polling is that we see right now, days before the election? And let's take the governor's race, for instance.
Well, it depends on what poll we're talking about, right?
Really?
I mean, we've because we've seen it fluctuate widely from Whitmer up 9 to tied. So I think that it's all about the pollster's ability to correctly predict and model what voter turnout is going to be like, and which brings up that Detroit turnout estimate again. If some pollsters have been using the 2018 turnout numbers as a way to model African American turnout or Detroit turnout, those polls are going to be wrong if the turnout is actually closer to 30%, right? But if pollsters have been able to correctly predict or model turnout, they're going to be pretty close.
Thank you very much for staying close with us, Dave Dulio at Oakland University in Rochester, Michigan, where leaders don't just meet expectations, they shatter them.
Have you ever considered being a school bus driver or attending on a bus to help students? Now is the perfect time. Dean Transportation has immediate openings and offers paid training to obtain a commercial driver's license. With increased pay, benefit packages, flexible scheduling, and a sign-on bonus, Dean Transportation may be the career choice for you. No experience needed. Apply now at deanjobs.com and start your paid training. Head to deanjobs.com.
Fly Lansing nonstop to Orlando on Avelo Airlines and enjoy Florida sunshine in no time. Fly from Lansing's Capital Region International Airport and enjoy affordable parking, hassle-free check-in, and short security lines. Starting October 26th, say hello to Avelo with nonstop flights from Lansing to Orlando International Airport. Book your trip today at AveloAir.com. That's AVELO Air.com. And fly Lansing.
You already know that Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan has the largest network of top doctors and hospitals in Michigan. But what you may not know is Blue Cross is making it easier than ever for you to see those top doctors, however, whenever, and wherever you need to see them. And that means you can get the care you need on your terms through office visits, telehealth, a 24-hour nurse line, mental health support, urgent care, and more, giving you the confidence in knowing that you and your family are covered no matter what. No wonder Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan is the name more people across the state have trusted for the past 83 years to help them live healthier lives. So whether it's a cough, a fever, a broken arm, or a broken spirit, Blue Cross is here for you anytime, anywhere, with access to support for both your physical and mental health, even from the privacy of your own home. Blue Cross is here for it all and always will be. Learn more at hereforitall.com.
Elections are coming up, and this year, we're making our voice heard for ourselves, for our community, and for future generations. Go to planmyballot.com today. Use your vote and your voice to keep pushing for progress.
Paid for by Priorities USA Action and Color of Change PAC.
Mary redeemed a $50,000 cash prize playing Chumba Casino online.
I was only playing for fun, so winning was a dream come true.
Chumba Casino is America's favorite free online social casino. You too could have the chance to win life-changing cash prizes. Absolutely anybody could be like Mary. Be like Mary. Log on to ChumbaCasino.com and play for free now. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details. The voice in the preceding commercial was not the actual voice of the winner.